What's up, guys? Welcome to month number seven of Dark Heresy. Hey, I can't hear myself. We'll fix that. I haven't done the show in what, 3 months? So like, I had to redo the entire scenes, all this stupid nonsense. But we're here, we're live. We gotta wait 10 minutes in, and then we'll tweet that we're actually live. So don't do that yet, because we can still get canceled. But let's catch up with everyone, because it has been 2 months. So your camera fucked up, but we'll talk to you first. What's going on?
No, it'll fix. It should fix. Did it not fix?
It fixed. What's up?
Okay. What's up? We're playing Dark Heresy. I'm excited. I'm ready to just kind of get into it. I'm ready to avoid the nines tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
It seems like djWHEAT has received the blessing of the Omnissiah, by the sounds of it.
We're good. He's good.
Do you begin to trust him more now, TB? So does that...
That's a
that
bond,
counts
right?
even?
That's 50 experience.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
there we go.
Right there.
Ooh, yeah.
Great way to
It's easy.
start off.
That's how Jeff got 1,800 experience somehow, and all of us are still in like the 1,300.
Sure you guys just didn't spend it or add it. I have yet to add mysterious experience in my D&D days, but
You're like,
In
2 months?
There is only Skype.
Yeah, they're not going to know how much XP we actually have. Let's just...
Like-
just
like everyone's like, yeah, I've got 1,500. I got like 1,450. I'm like, I've got 1,800.
What you guys don't realize is that Jeff and I actually had a bunch of solo roleplay sessions because we were so tired of waiting.
I believe it.
Gotta catch you
Jeff
guys
is
up.
quite literally now the emperor of mankind.
Yeah.
So this will be an interesting game.
the storyline has progressed.
Steve and I got nothing better to do every day. We've been playing for 4 hours. I'm actually, I'm looking pretty sick.
Wait, you don't think about maybe inviting a couple of us in? No, is that a
Well,
no?
you know,
I was having fun.
we didn't want to
Shame.
pressure you.
At one point,
Yeah.
I countered Fulgrim, the Primarch Space Marine demon, and then as the Emperor, I just kind of thought him away, and he disappeared. So that was a good mission, by the way. We got that
Yeah.
done.
Well done.
Yeah.
That was plus 50 XP, I assume, right?
Yeah, that's where I got the 1,800 XP, was that mission.
Yeah.
right
Oh,
there.
okay. Yeah, taking off Fulgrim. Yeah, that makes total sense.
All
Absolutely.
300.
Jeff, what's going on with
Sounds
you?
absolutely canon.
We haven't talked to you
well-
since the last time you went to that tournament over the week, so...
Yeah, so same as Weed, I'm super jacked to do this. I'm really excited. Dark Heresy is a fan favorite and also I think a player favorite. We love this thing. But for me personally, it's kind of very topical that we're playing today because yesterday I got back from Adepticon, the biggest Warhammer tournament I think on the planet in terms of attendance and a lot of it prestige as well. Really, really cool. I went 1-3, which is not where I wanted to be. But the kind of cool thing is that I got to play the equivalent to, I wouldn't call him boxer, maybe like a Jadong, like one of the absolute
Still a
three-
white guy, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's a white guy.
I'm glad you got that cleared up. That was
Yeah.
really pertinent.
The Koreans haven't taken over Warhammer 40k,
No,
right? Okay.
they won't. It's too expensive. But the game,
Wrong.
the guy is like, he's like 18 or 19 years old, and in 4 years' time, he won 2 Novas, which is like the equivalent of an MLG, if not even higher. And then he was in the final table 3 and 1-1 of what would be the equivalent of GSL, all in a row. Like he's this little
Jesus.
savant.
Nice.
His name's Tony Kopak, just this brilliant, ridiculous player, and I had a really good game with him. It wasn't particularly close at the end, but like there was parts. It was a 6-turn game, and in a good 2 or 3 of the turns, I had my chance.
Is that a lot?
Yeah, what is 6 turns like 5
Five's
hours, or
standard.
what does that equate to?
Yeah, that's quite a
Five is
lot of
standard.
turns in 40k.
And then after 5, you roll the dice, and on a 1 and 2, it's over, and on a 3+, it goes on. And then for turn 7, you roll the dice, and on a 1, 2, and 3, the game ends, and on a 4, 5, 6, it continues. And then at 7, it's over. So 7 turns is the most you can do. But that was really cool. It was kind of a big honor to play him. And it's really fun because we do a lot of bat reps and on YouTube and stuff like that. And I've been tweeting a lot about Warhammer and trying to help grow the scene and stuff like that. So I've got a lot of people coming up to me and recognizing me, and there's some really small world explosions happening where people are like, yeah, I used to play StarCraft 2 and I was a big fan of yours, and I stopped like a year or 2 ago, and then I saw, what the fuck are you doing in a Warhammer bat rep? Like, it just kind of clashed down on them, and it's cool because it makes sense, but it still blows minds because Warhammer's not a computer game, so it's kind of weird to see someone you know from one place go to the other. But been having a lot of fun doing that. Super busy. It's been announced that I'll be casting at DreamHack Bucharest. So I'm heading off to Romania, and I've never been there, and I've got actually family from there. My cousin married a gentleman from Romania, and he had to like deal with the mafia to get out of that country. So that'll be a lot of fun.
So do you know the
Wow.
mafia in that country?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No. He
Are
wasn't
you
like
connected?
part of the mafia. He just had to deal with them to get passports and stuff like that.
Jeff, maybe I missed it. Did you say what your opponent was running?
Oh, it was the Seer Council, Eldar.
Oh,
4-wave.
Eldar, Dark Eldar?
No.
Oh,
well,
okay.
yeah, with the Baron. That's how you
Yeah.
do the Seer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. For people that don't know, the Seer Council is one of the most popular star armies, and a star is basically like a unit that moves around and can't die. And if they get their powers going, they have a 2-up save followed by a 2-up save. So on a d6, they have to roll a 1, and in order to take a wound, they have to roll another d6 and roll another 1, which is actually you have like a 7.8% chance of doing that. Or
Wait,
something.
so that's the only way they can take damage?
Yes.
Why the fuck do people play this game? What the fuck? That
Well,
sounds horrible.
That question you just asked, it's a very popular question where people are like, "What the fuck?" Because then I play Tyranids, where it's like the best save that I have is a 2-up that's not invulnerable. So if you have AP2, I just don't get to roll a dice. I just take a wound. But most of my army is a 3-up, again not invulnerable. So if you have AP3, which is not incredibly rare, I just go.
Is this like a pay to win? Does his units cost more than yours, or how does this work?
Don't question the holy lexicon of Matthew Ward. What the hell is wrong with you?
No, it's pretty funny going from StarCraft to that because it gives you an appreciation. Like StarCraft, people complain about balance. Warhammer, because there's so many people that are just playing what we call them fluff bunnies because they're just playing like an army they think's cool. Their list is not min-maxed or anything like that. They're just having fun. Then there's like the bloodthirsty competitors, which I'm closer to, but I'm also playing Tyranids, so I'm obviously not full bore on it. They're the people that like crunch the numbers with supercomputers and figure out the most efficient units, and then they fucking thrash these people. But what's really funny is this game is a mix between hobby and competition, and they can't separate the two, like ever. So in a tournament, there's actually a thumbs up and thumbs down system, and sometimes when you kill someone so bad, they just thumbs down you because fuck you. I don't like playing that way. Like, so there's a couple guys that like their score is really good, but they have like 3 or 4 thumbs downs because they played too good. And imagine that in StarCraft 2 where they're like, let's bring the players out. Jeff just played Bomber. Is it thumbs up or thumbs down? I'm like, I didn't like it. I didn't like the screens that fast.
The problem with 40k though is there's a lot of dice involved, and I think when they first started creating 40k, which is 30 years ago now at least, that they were not aiming at a competitive scene in any way. They were just going to kind of make a fun thing you would kind of play with your friends, and it got really, really big and evolved this competitive scene. It's kind of like Artosis with Hearthstone. He's become a pro gamer in something which involves a lot of dice rolling, but it's that to an extreme. There's so much of it. And there are, like, if you were in the UK as a kid, you probably went into a Games Workshop at some point because they're in every town for no good reason at all. And maybe you played against that one guy who you approached him and instantly you realize, wow, he has an aura of Nurgle about him. The stench, the pestilence is here. It's real. And you play against this guy with his $3,000 army.
Yeah, the reason they're in each town is because they're funding the town. DP.
Yeah,
That's
pretty much.
How expensive they are.
It's a
it's a giant drain.
$250 company a year. Or 250 million, excuse me, pound company.
Yeah.
It's basically the Eye of Terror for cash. Like it goes in, it doesn't come out again. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, the competitive scene is interesting. Jeff, I got to ask you, did you see anyone with an Imperial Knight there? Like that, literally a one-model army?
Unfortunately, because Adepticon's rule is that if something comes out a month away from the tournament, they are not allowed. So it'll be the next one. People are. I've already played against Knights. They're great.
That's fucking awesome.
Wait, there's a really one-unit army? You can just buy a...
Yeah,
no, he's exaggerating. You can have a whole army of 5.
Yeah.
1850, you'll have 5 units, and they're like nerds geek out about them because they're mecha robots with a little pilot.
Mini Titans that cost how much do they cost? Is it $150 each minimum? If I recall correctly, 140. Yeah, of these things. They're just these little mini Titans called Imperial Knights. And I think there was a site called There's a site called Bella Souls that had this theory that they made the most noob-friendly army possible to try and get more people into the game.
Yeah, no, I was actually thinking, like, how much does this cost?
Like 3 models, and you can fight. But you've got to drop $450 on getting them, but hey.
They're gorgeous, by the way. You guys should Google image Imperial Knights. They're new this month. They're fucking. They're so good that I'm considering a second army, and it's largely in part because of what TB just said. You can do 2 of those and ally them to something, but they're so expensive point-wise inside the game. They're both like 370, 375. Out of 1500 or 1850, you can see what percentage of your army is that.
Awesome.
And then you just supplement it with other things. But
I haven't played second edition, so hearing you say 375 is expensive, I'm pretty sure Land Raider used to be like 650 at one point.
Oh no, yeah, a Land Raider now is like 250, maybe 275. Still very expensive. But the game's amazing. Had a lot of fun. Tyranids are still the love of my life, even though I got kind of slapped around. I played another Tyranid player first round, and I did what's called tabling him, which I believe the FGC calls bodying, and that's where you actually kill every single one of their model, which just geeked. I was just like.
Nice.
You want to be super polite too, so like, so at the end of the game, I'm like, good game, very good. And he's like, what did I do wrong? And in my head, I'm like, everything. But I'm like, okay, something here. And then like my teammate would come over and be like, how'd you do? And one time I was like, oh, I tabled him. And he's like, Jeff, come on, that's rude. And I was like, you're right, I did really well. It was a good game. And,
You gotta
I'm
avoid
learning
those
the manners.
thumbs down.
Yeah, I know. I'm learning, but it was a lot of fun, and I'm geeking out a lot about it. So you can expect to see more.
One final question, because I don't want to turn this into the first hour as us just talking about random shit. If I just like paint like the worst fucking let's say I just throw paint at my model, is that like frowned upon?
Yeah. Well, no, that's like Slanesh, right? That's pretty much all you need to do.
That's a good point. So if you made a demon army and you were like Plonsky it or whatever his name is,
Polanski? What are you trying to say?
I don't know, some postmodern
Roman
artist.
Polanski?
I don't know.
No, we're all getting it wrong.
Filmed Romeo and Juliet? What?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Who's the guy that just fucking threw paint onto things and then was like, and then it sold $50 million. Someone will tell me in chat. But if you did a demon army and that was your thing, that'd be okay. But for the most part, like I said, it's kind of funny because it's a competition mixed with the hobby. So if you do a really ugly paint job, you won't get thrown out of the tournament, but you will you'll get very low points on that. Sydney Pollock, thank you.
I mean, the picture you paint, Jeff, is kind of like
Jackson
I imagine your
Pollock,
opponent going like, I really want to attack that beast, but he is just so magnificently painted.
No.
I think
It
I'm
doesn't
going to
get
hold
there.
off. No.
It's pretty funny though because it's such an expensive game that takes so much time. A lot of times you're playing 30 or 40-year-old men who've been doing this for a long time, so they have their kind of ideals. And one of my teammates didn't finish his army before the tournament, and the rule is 3 colors on the army at least, so that you don't just...
Oh, so that's actually a rule. You actually have to... Oh.
You can't play without at least 3 colors. And that's
okay, I thought that was just like, I painted my army perfectly.
Nope.
Like,
and his opponent calls over the judge and he's like, yeah, they're not, the Wraith Knight and that unit are not completely painted. I want them thrown out. And
Jesus.
My friend Frankie's like, this is rare. This is like a total douchebag.
What a fucking
and the judge
dick.
Is like,
yeah,
no,
what
there's
the
3
hell?
colors on that. And he goes like, well, answer truthfully. Are you going to go home and are you going to paint that more? And Frankie's like, yeah, I am. So he's like, so technically it's not completely painted. And Frankie's like, I flew in from California.
Yeah, what the fuck, man? Throw that guy out of the tournament.
Yeah.
What an
This
asshole.
is pretty common for 40k shit. There will be that guy always in every tournament, regardless, who will do that shit. He will pull that shit every fucking time. It's like that dice is on a slight angle.
I'm going to go to the next one.
Re-roll it.
And I'll just literally throw paint. I'll buy some fucking figurines, throw paint at it. And then when people come and challenge me, I'll just be like, meet my friend Jeff. And Jeff will just walk up and be like, what's up?
I know.
Is there an issue here?
Strangely enough, I never get those kind of comments because I would just
funny
Frankie's
that.
like a super nice guy, but
Yeah. We'll try. Anything else going on, Jeff?
just like I was starting to say, I guess Cast and DreamHack. I'll also be at PAX East with a lot of these fine fellows, if not everyone.
TB, are you going?
I actually won't be.
TB's the only one I think not going.
All right, well, most of us anyways,
I know
so come
not
say
going.
hi. And then the week
TB,
after,
I'm jealous, by the way.
jealous of not
What?
having to do it.
You like talked me into going, and now you're like, I don't want to go to this fucking convention.
You know what? It'll be a good time, but you know what? They're like, hey, I'm going on like number 7 in a row. I'm ready to break the chain once, and
That's true.
But JP, don't. We're
these
gonna have
first
to
world problems, these first world problems, like I've been blown to so many PAXs, I just don't want to. I don't want to go anymore. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
You know what? You know what? Shut up. And I hate you for saying that because you know exactly what I mean. Because
Yeah.
I do. I do.
That's true.
But also
I
be at
love
Salt
it.
Lake City Con, and I'm going to be casting a small tournament there, which will be a lot of fun. But one of the big highlights for me is I'm going to be a celebrity, so I'll be in the green room where Nathan Fillion will be. So there's a
Whoa.
good chance I'm going to try.
All right, Jeff. Here's
To
what
grab
you
his
do.
Try to
ass.
touch him
The first,
inappropriately.
don't even do that. Just go up
Doesn't
to him and be like, "Hey, when's Firefly coming back?"
Yeah, I was gonna say exactly. Be like,
Why'd you
so
cancel it?
I think you should pull out a notebook and say, I've taken some notes that I'd really like you to review over the changes I think we need to make to bring it back to Fox.
And after he gives you like the death stare, ask if he wants to
He
come
just
on
punched
role
me.
play after that.
Yeah,
See if
That's
see
exactly
if you
right.
can make it happen. I'm counting on you, Jeff.
I'll try.
Okay, Steven, what's going on with you?
Oh man, so I'm going to my first PAX ever next weekend.
Woo!
So
I mean,
there
don't
is
ask
this-
Wheat how it's gonna be because it's gonna fucking suck.
I'm
dude.
irrationally
sorry.
excited. Yes, I'm going to be bringing my tablet, so I'll have some information about Eternal Crusade on there. So if you come to PAX and you come find me, I'll be able to show you some cool shit that we've been doing in the game recently. Other than that, I've just been working, man. I hired up 2 new level designers, so I have a team. I have minions. I get to boss around now. It's super
Nice.
great.
Nice.
And yeah, we've actually been
Any like
playing-
famous guys? I mean, level designers they make names for themselves. Like,
Man, so one of the guys that we hired is named Patrick Vaillancourt, and if you played Rainbow Six Vegas and you played the map called Calypso Casino, he was the guy in charge of Calypso Casino.
Wasn't
So
that the one that
Wait,
had the
is he a level
MLG
designer?
slots?
yes, he's a level designer.
Steven, when did you get fired? What are you going to do?
I did not get
No,
fired.
these
No,
are-
those are
his
people that work under
minions.
him. Yeah.
he's
That is
got
a-
Careful,
my-
though. That sounds
he counts
talented.
as a
He can
gang now.
replace you.
I get to boss. Well, the good
Take
thing
him out,
is,
Steven.
now that I have minions, I don't actually have to do level design.
Oh.
What I have to
more
do
time for
is
roleplay.
I have to keep everybody happy and make sure that everybody has the resources that they need and like tell people how long things are going to take and ask people how long things are going to take. So being a lead is it's a lot of coordination.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I do really enjoy it. And I actually tweeted recently, I made a spreadsheet that like distributed the cost of every element in the game and like how long it would take to make and how long that was in months and like how much buffer there was in there in case things took longer than expected. And I felt really proud because I had like all these variables that I could like tweak and shit. Yes.
And then you realized you're making an MMO and it's not going to be done until 2020. Is that what happened?
By which point your game mechanics will be irrelevant and everyone will have moved on to the next
It's going to
thing.
come out when 40K
Exactly,
becomes
yeah.
like a real
It'll
time
come out by the
thing.
time the next Dark Heresy happens, guys. We promise.
Yeah.
We promise.
We're actually planning to sync that up.
Yeah.
So we have
yeah.
a launch day stream, Dark Heresy. Yeah.
And then we're gonna have TB do a live WTF is right afterwards. It's happening.
And then I'll just slam
He just
it in.
reamed
Yeah,
on it.
exactly.
Just-
We'll do it
Terrible
live on
level.
air. TB will be like, so why did you decide to lock the FPS at 20?
To
I'll
be
be
fair,
like, well-
if you did that, you'd have deserved every fucking thing that came to you.
Well, TB, we really thought it made for a better experience on.
Yes, that's what you did. It's like
I
then
have
you,
to
you tell me
imagine
that
they
you
was drunk when they made this game.
It's a shame
Then
the
you
lead
tell me
level
you
designer
know,
spent all his time playing role-playing games instead of designing the game.
Yep, that's a quote from the
Yeah.
future WTF is of Eternal Crusade.
Well, I mean, Steven, you're in a good position at least because, to be honest, you're gonna have to try really hard to be worse than Warhammer 40k Storm of Vengeance. That is gonna be a challenge for you.
Ooh. Well, I think we're up to the task. Have you played Doritos Crash Course, by the way?
It's better than Storm of Vengeance.
Doritos Crash.
Like,
Wait, did you
Oh,
make Doritos Crash Course?
No.
Behavior
It's not-
did.
Oh,
as a
Behavior
part
did.
as a part of another division of the studio. Yes.
Gotcha.
yeah.
That was one of the
Doritos
criticisms that people level at us is, oh my god, they made games like Doritos Crash Course, and it's like,
That's the same thing that people did to the guy to Double Helix, and then Double Helix just comes and crushes it with Killer Instinct and Stride, and I was like, well, I guess we can't judge people by the past games then.
Well,
Yeah,
now they're
it's-
never
yeah,
going to
it's
make
gonna-
another
it's gonna
game.
be the same.
Ambiance Killer Instinct really well. That lives up to the old one. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's good.
But I mean, when are you going to apologize for Naughty Bear? When is that going to happen?
ooh, I'll have to ask my producer.
That sounds like a good idea because
Yeah.
what the hell were you doing?
I'll say to her, hey, TotalBiscuit wants to know when you're going to apologize for Naughty.
Also, when
She'll
is
be
this
like,
get on to
Steven-
Mike? When's that going to
Steven,
happen?
did you know that we have 2 new level designers now? And I'll be like,
Shit. Shit.
Poker face.
Yep. Yep. Cool.
Oh, I
Last
gotta
but
get
not least, TB, what's up with
What's
you?
Not too much. Just came back from Game Vid Expo in Atlanta.
How was
We've
that? Is that a big
discovered
con?
It's definitely not. No, it was the first time they did it, and it was surprisingly busy. Like they basically, it was just like 2 rooms and kind of a foyer in a hotel, but they got quite a lot of fairly high profile YouTube guys there. And as a result, a lot of people ended up going for it. So I think there's probably about 600, 700 people there, which for a con kind of entirely based around people making videos about games on YouTube, which is extremely specific and niche. I think it was actually quite good. I also went to the inaugural Smite tournament because that was also in Atlanta.
That seemed really bigger than I thought it was ever going to be. And
it was sold out in a pretty large venue.
Yeah,
I think
I saw pictures of it.
Capacity. And the actual venue itself was kind of great. I mean, it was almost like a coliseum. It was a lovely setup in kind of a theater. And the production values, really, really good, I've got to say. Good commentary team. They had a really enthusiastic crowd, which helped it a lot. I mean, you know, Dota-style games get a lot of enthusiasm whenever anyone gets killed. But these guys were really hype. So I'm going to give them credit for that. It was pretty fun to watch. I played quite a lot of Smite, and it's a pretty good game. Admittedly, it was a bit weird to watch it because they did it from a perspective that's not usual. They have this casting camera, which is the... Anyone who's played Smite knows it's a third-person game. It's like behind character. You don't see a lot of that in the cast. They just go for kind of at an angle top-down, which is a bit weird, but it definitely allows you to see them setting up all those flanks and traps and ambushes and things like that.
You don't see the skill in the individual players as much, their skill shots and stuff. You just kind of see maybe the team.
Actions happening or something like that,
Which is good view, but I think sometimes you have to kind of appreciate that each one is... I mean, to be fair, you can't exactly see it in some of the other ones, but anyway. Yeah,
I mean, they occasionally cut back to the third-person view to try and show that, but it's really hard to do that and actually do it at the right time. So they spent most of the time in the thing. I think, the more chance they get to do these tournaments, the better. It's obvious, there was a lot of support in Atlanta for that. There was bus ads for Smite. Like, a bus is passed with Smite all over. It's like, made in Atlanta, made right here. And there's actually apparently a lot of local support for it as a result of that.
Does that game do well? Like, what is I guess so, if they're able to do shit like this. I had no idea.
I mean, they've thrown a lot of money into a lot of games already. Like, Global Agenda kind of bombed. Tribes was doing pretty well, and they claimed it, like, at best broke even. And Smite is apparently making money, and they've, like, invested, like, untold millions into this stuff. But Smite is apparently doing well. It's got a large enough player base.
Though? I was driving to the dog park, and I just saw an entire building that had Ask Jeeves at the top of it. So I think everyone just makes money all the time, as far as I'm concerned.
Apparently, yeah.
Who's the Ask Jeeves? He's still around?
Dude, they had a gigantic, 40-story building.
That shit is so old.
Filled with people that don't have anything to do, by the way. So
maybe it's just like one conference room, and they still have the thing on the building, and all the rest.
Oh, that turned into Ask.com's pretty big.
Ask.com, they turned it into less of a search engine and more of a question engine. It's like, why does this blah blah blah? I mean, it's nothing that Google can't do just as well and faster. But they tried to rebrand themselves as something you could.
It does say Ask, but I knew it came from Ask Jeeves because they kept the same Ask and the same colors and shit. So.
Right.
Yeah,
I didn't know
aside from Game Vid Expo, just been trundling along, trying to keep up with the various games that are ending up on Steam. There's like 10 a day at this point, and most of them are ancient and terrible. So filtering through all that stuff's great. That's a lot of fun. Storm of Vengeance just came out. I would thoroughly recommend that you do not get it. It is the worst Warhammer 40,000 game ever made, and
worse than Space Marine.
It's a hell of a lot worse than Space Marine.
Space Marine's a pretty good game.
Space Marine's all right. Storm of Vengeance is actually terrible. It's a really, really bad Plants vs. Zombies clone, basically, by the people that brought you Ride to Hell Retribution.
Oh, that one, yeah. So
I
don't get it for iPad either.
Ride to Hell Retribution.
Yep. There's always DLC available, by the way. You've got to pay... if you pay $3, you can get a Deathwing Terminator, which is apparently really powerful. So you can actually pay to win in this shitty game, which is lovely. It's just awful. So I guess we have to hope that the Space Wolf card game that is coming out quite soon, the virtual
heard about that.
Game, that looks okay. I could see that working. I mean, there's been several kind of card-based things involving 40K before, so I don't see that being potential. I mean, it could be terrible. It's very likely that it could be terrible, but it might be okay.
Did you hear about Eisenhorn?
What about Eisenhorn? Please don't. Have they given the license for the game?
Am I going to be the one who gets to tell TotalBiscuit? There is a mobile game coming out based on Eisenhorn.
No!
Man, you just canceled Dark Heresy. What the fuck?
God, that's...
That'd be such a good movie.
Why would you do that?
Let me look it up. Hang on.
Oh,
Apparently, like
that, John, like there's not even super high levels of Xeno, so they could do a great movie about that. That'd be so sick.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's not like a huge amount of crazy stuff you would have to deal with in a movie. Yeah, it's called Eisenhorn Xenos, by the looks of it. Who's making it? Who did they give it to? Pixel Hero. They have only made one game. Oh fuck! I hate
Pixel
the fact
Hero?
that they keep doing this. That also they've done like a CG version of Eisenhorn. Doesn't look like that. Look at this crap.
it's a little close. A little.
It's a little close.
A little close.
It looks like it could be in Clash of...
Wait, you guys. I think it's important that we look and see what the Spiral episode 1 is really quick. I think that can say a lot.
Ooh.
So let me.
Was that their first game?
Yeah, that was their only previous game. What they're doing right now?
No.
They're giving this. Oh Jesus God, no! They're giving this license to anyone they feel like giving it to at this point, which is resulting in just awful games being made.
You know what? Like for a mobile game, like it doesn't have the most terrible. It's you'd have to see how it controls.
It's
got pretty good ratings.
I mean, it's not. It's not like your standard, point and click. It's not like, a color matcher or a Storm of Vengeance or anything like that. It is really a character-centric. It looks like a video game you would see on, like, the PS2 or something like that.
Yeah, the problem is, one, the PS2, which is a little
good.
Secondly,
Good way to start
on a mobile device.
Throwing them a bone.
We're going to make an action-adventure game on something which doesn't have buttons!
Yeah.
I kind of agree.
How is that going to work for you? The way they should have done it is they should have just got Abner in and said, right, Abner, here's a bag of cash. Write a choose-your-own-adventure book based on Eisenhorn. Turn that into a mobile app. Fucking genius. Like
with
that's
cool artwork and stuff like that. That'd be sick.
Absolutely.
You know that Dan Abnett was the main writer on Ultramarine, right?
Yeah.
He
also helped with the revamp of Guardians of the Galaxy. He's behind that as well.
Did he really?
Wait, really?
Yep. He helped revamp
That's awesome.
that. The graphic novel.
He's done a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. To be fair, I don't think it was the writing of Ultramarine that ruined Ultramarine. I think it was everything else.
I think you might want to watch it again, TB.
Okay, maybe the writing as well. It was just awful. But to be fair, if you're going to base it on the worst Space Marine chapter, then what the hell do you expect to happen?
Yeah, they did kill a lot of Terrans. Fuck those guys.
Smurfs.
All right, now it's time to figure out Steven, what's going on? I don't remember.
So, yeah. Good God, it's been a while.
It's been like 2 months or 3 or something.
I think it's literally been 3 months. The last time I had fired up the Dark Heresy Roll20 app was on the 12th of January. So I think that's almost 3 months to the day.
Yeah.
If we'd gone one more week,
Wow.
next Saturday it would have been 3 months. So anyway, what's happened so far? You are in Highview Traxxas, which is overseen by Planetary Governor Zaria Theopoia. You've uncovered some rumors of dark heresy at the hands of Theseus Ophaly and his family. You kind of got locked out of their sort of doings by your actions, and you made friends with a family called Phaedrus because you rescued the daughter whose name was, oh my God, you actually have the
matriarch has Kappa, Engelbart.
Yeah. Her name is Judica Phaedrus, the daughter, and the matron's name is Karna Phaedrus. And just recently, what happened most recently is we headed down into the Underhive in order to go slag rat hunting with Karna Phaedrus and some of her friends.
No, don't pass the opportunity to tell us who's down there. It's one of the few references that people adore.
Well, you just said we went down there. He didn't say what happened.
We went down there with a man named Cortez Barboza.
There you go.
And you'd best believe that Eli killed the shit out of him. And now
That's what I was
Jeff,
talking about, JP. You can't just say friends. You got Barbosa, man.
Oh,
we gotta
I get it.
The most
Jeff,
canon
or
of
rather,
characters.
Jax Romulus now has Barbosa's power sword, right?
Eli,
Yes.
what are you doing? I'm one of your friends. He's like, all right, let's swing again.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Yes,
Yeah, I have
yes,
his
because
powers.
Eli was trying to like accidentally kill Barboza because he had
Just failing
Eli
over and
had
over.
been given a quest to murder Barboza, who was an off-world traitor,
Yep.
by the death cult that he had run into called the Shadow Cradle, and so now that he's killed them, he has to get back in touch with the Shadow Cradle and get fully initiated into the death cult, which is going to be awesome. And we also, like last session, which was only a short 2-hour session. Oh my God, we haven't played for real in so long. We met, we asked for directions, and that's what we did all session.
To go see like a judge or something, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because
so,
we were trying to make because Fricks fucked up and said something.
No, I wasn't. Wasn't it actually
No, it was
Engelbart?
definitely you.
It was definitely
no,
you and
had a lot to do
Engelbart.
with this.
Yeah, Engelbart like started freaking out because of what you said, and then everyone else started freaking out.
So what happened was like Fricks like murdered somebody and tried to pin it on Engelbart. And all of a sudden everybody thinks that like Engelbart is a bad guy and they're trying to like arrest him when actually everybody really knows that it's Fricks, obviously.
Wait, what?
No, I don't think that's what happened.
You don't remember that, Fricks?
I
It's
remember.
okay, you get away with it. There's no way he's remembering.
He's not going to remember it. What happened?
This is
though,
fantastic.
it's-
I can
it's
just tell
'cause-
you guys
it's 'cause-
whatever I want.
Yeah, you can. You totally can. Engelbart got
So-
like caught on camera killing that guy. That's what happened.
As you may recall, we had just seen a great rift open in the ground, and Korn came out of it. And now,
That's right.
what are you guys saying to him? So anyway, what had happened, or officially, the official record is that Engelbart Kappa murdered the Mortician Victus.
I think you
Yes.
mean Scourge, the heretic.
Scourged the heretic, Mortician Victus, for some heretical information that he decoded off of a data slate. And just recently, Matron Phaedrus was made aware of this, and she expressed that Engelbart needed to be brought to justice and be tried by the honorable Judge Hims Biggins.
Hims Biggins, that's right.
Which is the best name.
Yeah.
Motherfucking Hims Biggins.
He was a porn star in a different life.
Yeah. No, he's still a porn star in this life,
Yeah.
man. It's still there.
He moonlights.
With his big powdered wig.
Yep.
Yeah.
So where did we literally leave off? Though I remember I got in like a argument with.
Well, it's when we
Vader.
killed Horkenfiend.
Yes. You guys asked a random shopkeeper for directions. His name was
Turns out,
Horkenfriend.
sorcerer.
That's right. He had like a melted and shit.
Yes, and then it turned out that he had like a couple of ancient scrolls about warp history, and he was maybe like a reformed sorcerer who had like
Absolutely
opened up
a reformed sorcerer, and there's
Yeah,
no such
exactly.
thing as reforming.
unquestionably
Sorcerer.
reformed.
Doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And
But then we fought him down in his pit for like 30 rounds because no one could hit him. And eventually, I think you found a can of beans or something, TB, and you were really interested in
Yeah, that's
him.
right. That's right.
So you went and grabbed him and he threw him at him, and they were the first thing to hit. And I just walked out at that point. I don't remember what happened after.
yes,
16
through
Friday.
through the mighty efforts of this team of inquisitorial acolytes was the deadly Horkenfriend brought low. And now you guys know how to get back to the Phaedrus housing block. And also, I think that that Engelbart was headed to the Mechanicus Spire in order
Yes,
to
I'm
try and
looking for
avoid his
Yeah,
fate.
we were going to keep him hidden.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. So was there anything specific you wanted to do in the Mechanicus Spire, Engelbart?
Hide.
Okay. So
We were going to
Are
drop
you-
him off, and then we were going to go talk to the judge.
yeah.
think.
So okay. Engelbart, you managed to make your way through the Highview Traxxas, and you notice that there's like an ever-increasing number of Arbitrace units patrolling the roads, hovering by in their hover cars and, walking by in squads as big as 10. It seems like martial law has been declared in Highview Traxxas. You may remember back when you were in the Underhive, there was a series of explosions, and it seems like there's some serious, paramilitary activity as a result of heightened tensions. You make your way up through the hive, taking a couple cargo elevators until you make your way into the Mechanicus spire. The doors of the cargo elevator open, and you notice that everybody around you who was like a normal, unaugmented human has sort of vanished along the route, and now that it's just you and a couple of other acolytes. There is another gentleman wearing the bright red robes of the Mechanicus, who is actually suspended in midair via a series of hooked arms that, like prehensile arms that actually cling up onto the ceilings. And he swings out as the elevator doors open, and he just like hooks onto a number of pipes and rafters along the way in order to move himself. What did you want to do here? You wanted to like find a hiding place? Did you want to speak to anybody while you're here?
I want to speak to somebody. I need to explain the situation. Most likely to, let's see, who would I need to speak to? Who's the highest ranking Mechanicus official or tech priest that we have here?
Let's see. The highest ranking one that you would have access to. Where's my D10?
Don't forget about the assassination plot as well, Steven, if you haven't already.
Which assassination plot?
The planetary governor, and then we informed the bitch guard that didn't listen to me at all. So I think I called her a bitch.
Ayla Tyrannus, right? You were trying to get together with her. I think the plan was to have a card game in Reichelt's bar, actually. And that sort of
that went well.
That went to hell when you like killed Reichelt, I think.
Yeah, we shot his arm off, I think.
Yeah, but we got to interrogate him a little bit, I think.
I think that's true. Okay, so you head forwards, and the Mechanicus segment of the hive is much more condensed and smaller and darker, and all the steel is like blackened with smoke and oils, sacred unguents, and there's a strong, heady sense of incense that just barely tickles your olfactory receptors, as you've now received such augmentation that normal scents don't even, phase you anymore. You get up to a major intersection where there is a large sort of circular desk with a huge data bank suspended above it, and there's actually there's a triumvirate of magi who are sitting there, or magi, however the hell it's pronounced. They're all like, they have their bodies fused together and melded together, and they're each sort of in control of a couple of mechadendrite arms that snake around and, grasp certain levers and pull them, twist knobs, tap on a data slate with a couple prehensile digits. One of them turns and looks at you while the other two chatter back and forth to each other in binary cant, and he says, designation Kappa, what can I do for you? Speak quickly. Our time is precious. You have already wasted 76 quintillion nanoseconds of our time.
I believe that your calculation was slightly off. Perhaps we should reconfigure the neural net involved. Blessed Magi of the Omnisire, lend me your oral receptors. For I have for you a tale of grave techno-heresy and injustice, which may very well affect this sacred sanctum of the machine god itself.
Oral receptors engaged, and he like the one who is speaking actually like recoils back in amongst these three bodily figures, and you see that the hood that covers his face is actually disguising the fact that he doesn't actually have any eyes. There's just a plain black steel plate over where his eyes would have been, and another one of them, the one on the right, swings forwards, and two little like serpentine vox catchers snake out of the hoods and like project towards you, and they extend fans around them to better catch your voice.
Is there any way that I can share records of what happened as opposed to just explaining it?
Well, I mean, the noble art of binary cant is a much more rapid
efficient
communication. Yes. But if you wanted to actually like let them access your memory banks, that would be a more complicated, in-depth process. But it certainly could be achieved here in the Mechanicus section of the hive.
Well, we could try and start explaining it in binary cant, and if they want to dig around in my brain, then I guess they can do that later.
Excellent. One of them says, bzzz.
Yes. 01100110000011001111111100111.
And they all start like zapping binaric cant to each other.
Turns into like a
and
beatbox thing where they're all
Pretty much.
throwing down.
Does he
Yes.
fart
The one-
sense out at this time? or
I'd like to roll d20 to throw down, if you don't mind.
Well, you'd have to roll 2d10s, certainly, but you go ahead and give us a roll. Let's see.
Okay, rolling 2d10 to throw down. Here we go.
14. That's quite good.
It's reasonable. That's not bad.
Wait, 2d10. That would be like a 4, which is even better. Because what you actually need to be rolling is not 2d10, it's 1d100. Good! So, as we may recall, including a gentle reminder for your lovely GM, the core mechanic is to roll 1d100 and try to get lower than your target number. So, I'm looking here at your character sheet.
Just to point out, I did not actually wish to breakdance in front of the Archmage guy. That was not part of the plan.
I am disappointed. Oh, that's a shame. You don't actually have like a speak language. Oh no, you have secret tongue tech.
Yeah, I've got secret
Yeah.
tongue. So
Good. Awesome.
That
Yeah.
should count.
So you totally end up speaking with each other in binaric cant, and you convey to him that, what are you trying to say here? That there was information on the data slate that was of heretical nature.
Basically, I would try and explain to them that it was tech heresy of the highest order, involving manipulation of the Emperor's holy gene seed, and this was going on within our very midst. And now, as a result of me following the proper purgation protocols, which involved setting this guy's face on fire, if I recall correctly, that is rule 3 in the guidebook here that I was given, I am now, unfortunately, the target of what is effectively a witch hunt. And I request sanctuary from the law.
Ah, yes. Well, the one with the eyes, his ocular orifices triple in size, and the one with the mouth goes in shock at your revelations that you communicate through binaric cant. And the one with the mouth leans forward and he says to you, Engelbart Kappa, the information you possess within your cranial orifice is of great importance to the Mechanicum. We must bring you to Operation Room Delta 7. We must interface with your brain.
Did I fall back 10,000 years, or did you just call it the Mechanicum?
Apologies. Our shock was so great, you overloaded our verbal communication centers.
There appears to be some kind of time dilation anomaly going on around here. I'm going to run a scan, if you don't mind.
We are quite aged. Please do run a scan. We will have our secutors come and escort you to Operation
I'm pretty sure that
Room
it probably
Delta
just
7.
shot me in the face for pointing that out, but... Oh, well, never mind. Yeah, okay, well, I guess I really have no choice but to go with them. So I might not have a brain left after this, but it's probably better than being hauled up in front of the Adeptus Astarte. No, Astarte is what am I talking about? I'm messing up now. Jesus, there's clearly some kind of time dilation thing going on right here. Yeah, the Arbites. That would be a bad idea.
Yeah.
Or the
Excellent.
Ministorum of Justice, whichever you prefer.
So a couple of tall, augmented humans appear. They have 6 limbs on them, 2 of them bearing wicked-looking plasma cutters, and 2 of them bearing plasma guns grafted onto the end of their limbs, and the other 2 are simply normal, humanoid hands, of course, made out of metal. And they speak to you in binaric cant, and they address you, and they say, "Designation Kappa, come with us, and we will escort you."
All right, then.
They turn around and escort you down a side passageway over into a massive complex that reaches up into the heavens of the Mechanicus Spire. And they will lead you through a series of winding beige passages until they get to a door that's marked with a large delta and a 7. And they open it, and the inside is all gleaming implements and picked feeds and a number of interface ports on every wall and on a number of points in the ceiling. And there's a large operating table in the center, and the secutors gesture and they mention, "Please, designation Kappa, lie down on the table. A tech priest will be in momentarily to examine the contents of your cranial orifice."
All right, then.
This will not hurt at all.
I doubt
And
they
they-
have much concern about that, but never
They
mind.
back out, and the door hisses, closed. In
Well,
the meantime,
this may have been a terrible idea, but never mind.
In the meantime, Jax and Fricks and Eli, what are you doing? So Engelbart has left you and wandered off to find the Mechanicus Spire. You got directions from Horkenfriend before you murdered him in cold blood.
Justified.
What's the
Stop
molt?
lying! What the hell is wrong with your revisionist history?
It's the molten beans, man.
Yeah, you managed to get directions back to the House Phaedrus housing block. Did you want to try and find the Honorable Judge Hims Biggins and tell him of his error?
I think that was the plan.
Named out.
Was it not?
I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were we gonna tell him though? What was the error? Is that Engelbart did
Well,
this?
that's the thing. I didn't tell any of you because I believe that would be spreading heresy, which would be a
Yeah, I
terrible
think
idea.
we were just going to like defend him somehow, but we didn't really know how we were gonna do that.
Trying to be creative. Enjoy that.
All right, so you wander your way through the hive, following the instructions of the poor late Horkenfriend. I remember when he told you, you just take this path and you turn right, and then you go a little bit straight, and the Horkenfriend tells you all the right directions. It's fine. Yeah, good times.
It
We
were
murdered
good
times.
times. They were.
Remember that time that you met Horkenfriend and he was like, "Hey, do you want to buy any jewels?" And then that other time that he like pulled out that melta-gun and tried to fire a hole through the wall. Oh,
all of those times? Yeah.
it's like the montage of this,
Of Dark
this
Heresy,
wonderful character that we just met and lost.
Yep.
You make your way on eventfully. Jax, you also notice that there's a much larger than usual presence of Arbitrace units along the streets and avenues that you're following. In fact, the directions that Horkenfriend gave you actually cut through a couple of like slum buildings. So, you find yourself shaking off lepers from your boot and, whatever as you make your way through here.
I don't see my friend from Arbitrace, do I?
Are you referring to Lupus?
Yes.
Lupus.
No, you don't see him patrolling the streets. Each section of the hive has its own local Arbitrace office, and so since you're out in the where the hell are you? It's like a food preparation area of the hive, some lower section. I don't think we even know who runs it. But,
Dominicus.
Yeah, Dominicus. Yeah, sure.
I
writing that
approach
down.
after we kind of passed a couple of squads of patrolling Arbitrace. I approach one and like, say, friend, what's with all the Arbitrace? Why so many?
He turns around to you. He levels his combat shotgun and he says, "Citizen, step back." And then he holds it back. He says, "Oh, my apologies, sir. I didn't realize you were an Arbitrace yourself.
Quite all right.
Do you mean to tell me that you do not know?"
We have been engaged in a mission for a while now, so I'm a little bit disinterested. Or no, that's wrong. I'm in unawares of understanding what's going on. Yes.
There have been a series of detonations in the lower segments of the hive. A couple of sections of the hive have actually collapsed. The planetary governor, Zarya Theopoia, has engaged martial law.
Very good. May Emperor protect everybody. Thank you.
The Emperor protects, but a combat shotgun always helps. And he
ain't
strolls
bad.
off. He takes it in one hand, goes, "Choo-choo." And then, he sees a citizen sort of, getting a little bit too close to the crowd and he goes, "Ba-doof," blows the guy's head off. And another couple Arbitrace guys come by with brooms and sweep him off to the side. A small stunted servitor, rolls out where his hands have been, grafted into shovels and he, scoops up the mess and carries him off into an alleyway to dump the body into a garbage chute or something like that.
I'd buy
As,
that.
as we see this, I kind of look at everybody and go like, all right, stay close, friends. Everybody's losing their head out here. It's getting crazy.
So let me see here. You are actually crossing between two sections of the hive. So I think I need to roll on the encounters page.
Good.
Good.
Roll.
Jack.
So which of you is leading the group on the way back to?
Probably
in
Jax.
front.
Yeah.
All right. So Jax, would you roll 1d100 for me,
Yes.
please?
38.
38. What does that mean?
Probably a demon prince.
Wow, how very strange. Yeah, no, that totally works. Absolutely. As you walk, you begin noticing. Actually, is there some sort of awareness skill in this? What the hell are your skills? Jesus, it's been so long.
There's perception.
I
There
have,
is-
I have awareness based off perception.
There is awareness. Yeah,
I have
absolutely.
pottery plus 20 if that helps.
Oh, good. Yeah. Wow. God.
Oh yeah, I'm checked for
very well
awareness
could.
as well.
Oh, there's awareness, and I have it checked. Yeah.
So each of you give me a roll on. So actually, hang on. What I've put down here in the lower left-hand corner of Roll20 is a button called Skill-Test. Do you guys see that as
Yeah.
well?
Yes.
Good. If you click that, then what it's going to show you is going to show you a skill value input box. If you put the value of your skill in there, so in this case, it's your perception skill. So for example, for Jax, that's going to be a perception of 27, exactly. And then you hit submit. And then the roll modifier, since you have that trained, you'll have 10 because you get, oh no, actually it's 0 because you just get to use it at the full value because you have one check. You can submit. That gives you a roll. So Jax failed at his perception. Fricks failed at his perception. And Eli succeeded quite handily, in fact.
Whoa.
So Eli, you begin to notice that like everything in the area is beginning to have this very dreamlike quality. It feels as though you're walking through molasses and things are moving incredibly slowly. You get to the checkpoint to the Phaedrus housing block, and there's an incredibly robust squad of Arbitrace guards standing there, waving people through, scanning them, etc. Everything just seems like it's almost like you're in a dream. Everything is like, like if you're really high. You guys know. Come on.
Yeah, man, I smoked 5
yes, of
marijuanas
course, the
before this,
Obscura.
dude.
Delicious Obscura.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I just keep this to myself and think I'm fucking losing my mind.
Yeah.
And
Good.
just keep walking. I don't want to tell people about this.
Jax,
And we don't notice, apparently.
Yeah, or maybe it doesn't seem too strange to you. It's not quite out of the ordinary. It's been a while since you ate, whatever. Anyway, you make your way to the checkpoint, and a local Arbitrace guard steps out, and he says, "Jax, it's been a while, buddy. How you been doing?"
Lupus, is that you, old friend?
Yeah, it's me. I'm. What you're trying to ask? Don't you recognize me, Jax? It has that long. It's not like it's been 3 months or anything.
Feels like it's been longer than it has, friend. I'm doing just fine. How are you?
We're doing good, man. They got the entire city on lockdown. This martial law as a result of the explosions that went off in the Underhive. Say, where you been, Jax?
Certainly not the Underhive. We've been mid-hive, high hive, top hive. Just kind of working around our theories, trying to figure out, get to the bottom of this whole thing. House Phaedrus and whatnot. They got their issues.
Yeah, mid-hive, top hive. I went there once. That was a real nice place. You didn't go to the lower hive, did you?
Oh, no, of course not. We don't do that.
Oh, my God. Great breakfast place down there, but don't get too close to that Underhive.
Right. Exactly.
Exactly.
Say, Jax, you look a little concerned. Is there anything I can help you with? What's going on?
Well, we're just trying to get to, I think we're trying to go find, what's her name again?
The matron Phaedrus or the judge?
We're trying to look for Judge Hims Biggins. We got to give him a word.
Hims Biggins? You mean the famous Hims?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's very impressive. I'm impressed you're getting to talk to a man of Hims stature. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I can give you directions if you'd like.
That'd be great. Appreciate it.
Excellent. He rolls a d10 on the floor. Boo. Boo. All right, so here's what you're going to do. And he tells you the way to go, and he tells you to go down to the intersection just ahead, which is like the major thoroughfare intersection. in the Phaedrus housing block, and he tells you to go into a large building with a series of columns out in front, and you're actually going to go out through the back of that building into an alleyway. You're going to turn left. You're going to go up the fire escape scaffolding up the rear side of one of the buildings onto the 4th floor. It's going to get you past like one of the guard checkpoints at the actual courthouse itself. You're going to go up to the 16th floor, and then you're going to go to the second door on your left, and that is the Honorable Judge Him's personal courtroom, and that's where you're going to be able to find it.
I turn to the right and notice Fricks is writing all of this down.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're good to go.
All right, friend. Thank you. Appreciate it. And you take care of yourself. Things seem to be a little bit dicey out there. I don't want you getting into too much trouble, okay?
Oh, yeah, Jax, absolutely. You take care of yourself, too. Boy, it sure is nice to know someone of your caliber. I hope we can help each other out if the worst comes to worse.
You got my Vox number, Lupus. I'm just a call away.
He looks around left to right, and he says, "Hey, Jax, can I talk to you over here for a second? A little private?"
Absolutely, friend. Yeah, sure.
He pulls you into one of the interrogation rooms inside of the security checkpoint. Along the way, a couple of Vox boxes on the wall spit out requests for a validation, and he gives them their commands to open the doors and biometrics, whatever. Finally you're inside a sealed chamber away from your friends, and he says, "Jax, buddy.
Yeah.
Listen, I think the Arbitrace has been infected, or infiltrated, I guess is what I'm trying to say."
Well, you said infected, friend. Do you actually think the taint is here?
Gosh, Jax, I don't rightly know whether it's the the W word. But I hear some of the guys have been talking a little strange about letting some people through without proper authorization. It sounds like there's something real strange going on. I think it's coming from one of Ophel's fellas.
Do you have a name or a description?
Well, yeah, he's Theseus Ophel's personal bodyguard. His name is Ruck Thurstrom. He was an
You've seen him let
Arbitrace.
people through without proper identification?
Well, I haven't seen him, but word is that it's coming down the pipe from him. He's the one who's given the authorization.
Say, he doesn't happen to like to play cards or anything, does he?
You know what? I think he does.
How about this, friend? You set up a fairly high-stakes card game that he can't avoid. Tell him you've got a few friends that want to attend, and let me know when that is. We'll set it up, and we'll have a word with him or two.
All right, Jackson. He smiles and nods. He says, "I'll see if I can vox him right away. I'll let you know what he says."
Lupus, you're a good man, and I appreciate this.
Oh, gee, Jax. You sure are swell. And he lets you out past all of the security checkpoints again. You rejoin your friends who have made it through onto the other side. Fricks was pulled aside for strip search, though of course they had to bring her into a special extra large room.
Yeah.
To accommodate her.
Do we?
So
Totally.
sorry.
Just you wait. Just you wait.
I'm glad I'm not with the party right now. It's like
Oh.
warp rifts everywhere.
Last, before we go, I guess, Lupus, one more thing too. If you could keep an eye on the people that are letting these orders go through as well. But we'll look into this Ruck fella, and set up that card game. We'll do it there.
Yeah. All right. Absolutely. I'll tell you anything if I see anything unusual about the people who are letting these people through. Okay, Jax, you take care of yourself. Remember, it's just down there to the left through the thing, up the staircase, down the hall to the second door on the left.
16th floor.
Yeah.
Yep, my buddy Frick's here. She eats up all the food and information, so we got it good. So we
And
make our way
head-
through. As we're walking, I explained to them that, because if I remember correctly, Steven, I think we knew that there was some Arbitrace infiltration going on. Like,
I think you had suspected pretty strongly.
did we actually fight? Like one of the bosses was an Arbitrace guy. He brought
think
us
you
up.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, down in the Underhive.
So I explained to them what he explained to me, and I told them we're setting up another card game because that's apparently how we do business here.
Excellent. All right, let's take a 5-minute break. And when we come back, we'll return to see what's going on with Engelbart's Kappa's lobotomy.
Like, what?
Bye.
Perfect. We'll see you guys then.